Yeah.
I know friends who are like into microdosing now. Like,
LSD?
Or is it called microdosing with shrooms too?
Yeah. Anything that you're doing in
use
very small doses just to activate a little part of your brain a little more effectively, it is considered microdosing. You can microdose anything. You can microdose ice cream, I suppose, but you're not really going to get the same kind of journey or enhanced creativity.
I don't
want
to microdose snacks. I want to
No, that sucks.
snacks.
I like to macrodose those, but like
that's how I clean the things in my refrigerator. I just lick the ice cream. Microdosing.
Microdosing your almonds.
In California, they're packaging it now.
Holy shit! Is that Satan?
This is legit. This is penis envy, and penis envy caps are known for their big heads.
Okay.
Yeah. This one's called Gorilla Panic.
Okay.
This one's called I Wish I Was Dead.
Hold on. So it's all sealed. And so I get these companies send me some but this is the penis envy. This is the cap up.
Is it legal in California?
No.
I didn't. Okay. It seems professional.
Oh, there
in Oregon you can, right?
So let me tell you something. There are legit companies on Instagram who talk about their mushrooms in California. And I'm like,
would you suggest just getting it through the mail?
And just mushrooms. And so like there's always that debate of what gets you higher, the cap or the stem, but they're just dried out mushrooms.
How much do mushrooms cost? Like what?
It depends.
They're cheap, cheaper than weed.
Cost?
Yeah, they are cheaper.
Really? I didn't know that.
Like, I want to say that we paid like maybe $80 or $90 for half an ounce, something like that.
That sounds about right. Maybe a little. That seems kind of cheap, actually.
Do you always keep the shroom intake pretty small level, or have you ever taken way too many and had a rough time?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Was that a one-time lesson or multiple times?
Well, the lesson is, honestly, know how you're feeling before you take mushrooms. If you're nervous, if you're anxious, it's gonna be magnified. If you're nervous about taking the drugs, there's a good chance that you're gonna be tense going in. So for me, anybody, just relax and know that it's gonna, even if on a bad trip like Kyle had, it ends eventually. But that only comes from experience. Like, I don't get nervous on weed anymore. I don't get paranoid because I know I'm not gonna die. I may be uncomfortable, but whatever. Do you know what I mean? I've been that uncomfortable enough times where it doesn't make me panic anymore. And so I don't take enough anymore. Like, I'm not 7 gramming it like Kyle anymore. I'm anywhere from 1.5 to 3, just for fun. Just a good time. Do you have a
vivid recollection of any time that you took way too many and you hadn't learned to not panic yet? Like, what happened?
Well, I will tell you, I was out once in Texas. I went to college in Texas, and there was we bought a huge bag of mushrooms, and this dude, this is the weirdest experience I've ever had on mushrooms. I was high and my buddy Chris was high, and we were sitting around this campfire, and he was with his girl, and we were all kind of tripping a little bit. And my buddy Wayne, no matter, as soon as he drank or smoked or he was getting naked. If it was a party,
cool guy,
Wayne was naked, right? So Wayne was drinking, he used to drink gin out of this 1.75 liter, just straight gin.
A handle.
That's disgusting.
Fucking straight gin, this dude. And I just saw him and he was like, "Hey, did we have any more of this popcorn?" And I go, "What?" And I go, "Wayne, that wasn't popcorn. Those were the mushrooms." He goes, "They were pretty good." I go, "Did you finish the bag?" And he was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Oh no." So maybe 2 hours later, Wayne comes back to the fire, naked, out of the woods with all this firewood and his handle. And he drops the firewood and he goes, "Hey, you want to come back out in the woods with me and get some more firewood?" And I was like, "Yeah, all right, man." So we're walking away from the fire and it's pitch black. We're in the middle of nowhere. And I go, "Wayne, how can you see?" He goes, "I just follow the light." I go, "What light?" Let me tell you something.
He was holding it up like a light,
like a lantern.
Yeah,
he was 100% naked, walking through the woods. He walked out with 0 scratches. He didn't fall. He, for whatever reason, was seeing. I was walking into trees. I fell over. He was in a tree, pulling down branches because he could see with the light. Now, I asked somebody about this before. Go. It was so fucking crazy to me because I'm like, that is definitely not a light.
It's gin, and there's only a little left.
Yeah, how are we doing this right now? This dude, it was the craziest thing. For whatever reason, he was seeing exactly where to go.
Could it be that like it made his pupils like
Dilate
so big,
much.
like more dilated than they would ever naturally even be? And he actually has night vision now.
It's crazy because I imagine the moon gave the bottle at least a little bit of something,
Luminous,
right?
Yeah.
And so I think so too, that his pupils were so whacked that he was actually seeing in a place he had no business seeing.
He could see the code of the Matrix.
But dude, which is what I thought when I was on shrooms. I was like, this dude can see in the dark now. Like I ran back to when we went back to the fire, I was like, Wayne can see in the dark. Wayne can fucking see in the dark.
I don't know. Something ran up and bit me earlier, and now I'm going to see in the dark. I'm so thirsty.
Hey, give me some of that light. Let me see if I can see. Oh no, it's just
crazy. Yeah. I like mushrooms way more than acid because it doesn't last as long. And I can see the end in sight if I'm not enjoying myself.
Have you ever thought of doing DMT?
Yeah, I have. I would love to.
Because that's like 15 minutes. You know what scares me about DMT the most is that people, and it's really interesting. People say they see these elves when they're on DMT, and it's a common report from multiple people. It's not like 3 guys were together, they all did DMT, and one's like, "Do you see the elves?" And because of someone saying that, they're like, "Yeah, I do see elves now." It's like everyone who takes this reports that they meet elves that are friendly and supportive to them. And I was reading where they're talking about exposing someone who's from a completely separate culture, like some indigenous tribe, to DMT, and then seeing if they see the elves. Because if they see the elves, then we know there might actually be some fucking elves.
It does seem it's funny you said. I didn't know that was like, I didn't know everybody saw elves, but literally a buddy of mine the only friend I know who did DMT, he was like, yeah, I was on the surface of the moon and this little creature was telling me everything's going to be okay. You're worried about things that don't matter as much as you think. And I left the moon feeling better. And it's like,
let me ask you a question. Does this, for any of you guys, open up the possibility that there are just different realms that our normal brains don't have access to?
Yeah. I totally believe that, because like, if you want to look at like something that actually is based in science and isn't like tomfoolery and you just have to believe in, look at the wavelength of light that we can perceive versus how large the wavelength of light actually is. Like we can see from red to violet. That's the expanse of visible light that we're able to perceive with our human eyes. Lots of animals can see infrared or like various other spectrums of light. Yeah. And there's tons of stuff on the spectrum that like not even animals can see, that we have to use like advanced machinery and like scientific experiments to like, be aware of. So like maybe there is some other plane of existence or something like that, some other dimension, something that you're opening your mind up to with DMT. They say that it's released in large amounts when you're born and when you die. And yeah, I know, right? But the other way that they've described those elves is by talking about, but they've described them as gray aliens. And that is my biggest fear ever, is the gray aliens, like from the fucking X-Files and shit, that like take you up in the ship and torture you. So I feel like if I saw the elves, I'd be fucking drop kicking them and fucking. I like start an interdimensional war with the elves. They're like, we've never met a violent one before. They're always so friendly when they're here. And maybe I started.
You're always so nice when they get here.
Yeah, that big guy drop kick little Steve. Like Dave can't see anymore. He poked his eyes out. I'm up there just fucking choking out elves. Like maybe I shouldn't experiment with that stuff.
Maybe start with the gram of weed and go from there, or not gram. A gram of that's what it is, right?
That's it. Yeah, it's of edibles. Yeah.
Edibles,
I'm not gonna do a gram of concentrate is no big deal. I mean, all right, let me backtrack a little. It's a big deal. but it pales in comparison to a gram of edibles. It's like the difference between like drinking 6 shots really quick and drinking a bottle of tequila. Like 6 shots is going to get you pretty fucked up, but you'll be fine in a few hours. You drink a bottle of tequila, it's going to change your opinions on alcohol for the rest of your life.
Yeah, you're going to be feeling horrible that evening and the next day.
Yeah, it's a big difference.
I mean, some of those really intense hallucinogens really scare me. Like, I don't know. I don't think I would ever try DMT. It seems spooky. And I'm coming in on Woody's side with this. I don't think that it's going to give you visions into an alternate reality.
Oh, okay. Obviously, these alternate realities are bullshit, and there is no infrared elves or whatever. This is insanity. We would discover them through other means. Where did you learn?
What other means, Woody?
Missing socks.
When your